New York cheesecake. New York cheesecake was invented by accident. In 1872, a New York dairy farmer trying to replicate French Neufchâtel cheese over-enriched his mixture with cream and produced something denser and richer than anything Europe had made. By the 1900s, Jewish delis on the Lower East Side were serving thick slices on every counter in the city. The formula never changed: cream cheese, eggs, sugar, vanilla, and a graham cracker base. No water bath, no gelatin, no shortcuts. Every lighter cheesecake made anywhere in the world exists in apology for not being this one.
Philly cheesesteak. The Philly cheesesteak was invented in 1930 by Pat Olivieri, a hot dog vendor in South Philadelphia who threw beef scraps on his grill one afternoon and put them in a bread roll. A cab driver smelled it, asked for one, and told him to sell that instead. Pat did. The cheese came later. The correct cheese is Cheese Whiz, not provolone, not American. Locals will tell you this immediately and with conviction. The roll must be from Amorosa's Bakery. The beef must be shaved thin. Every cheesesteak sold outside Philadelphia is an approximation. Some are good, none are correct.
Chicago deep dish pizza. Deep dish pizza was invented at Pizzeria Uno in Chicago in 1943 by Ike Sewell, who wanted a pizza substantial enough to be a full meal. The result was a 2-inch tall cast iron construction with dough pressed up the sides, cheese on the bottom, toppings in the middle, and crushed tomatoes on top. The order is reversed from every other pizza because the cheese would burn in a 45-minute bake. New York has spent 80 years arguing that deep dish is not real pizza. Chicago has spent 80 years not caring. The argument continues. The pizza remains.
Maine lobster roll. Lobster rolls were invented in 1929 at Perry's Restaurant in Milford, Connecticut, not Maine. Maine took the concept, perfected it, and now owns it culturally to the point where the origin story is rarely mentioned. The Maine version is cold lobster meat briefly dressed in mayonnaise, served in a split-top hot dog bun toasted in butter. The Connecticut version is warm lobster in melted butter. Both states consider the other version a mistake. Maine produces over 100 million pounds of lobster annually. The same crustacean that colonial servants complained about eating too often now sells for $40 a roll on the harbor.
Nashville Hot Chicken. Nashville Hot Chicken was invented in the 1930s as an act of revenge. Thornton Prince's girlfriend, furious about his late nights out, loaded his fried chicken with cayenne pepper, intending to punish him. He loved it. He built a restaurant around it. Prince's Hot Chicken Shack has been operating in Nashville ever since. The dish stayed local for 70 years until food media discovered it in the 2010s. Within 5 years, every major fast food chain in America had released a hot chicken sandwich. A revenge meal became a billion-dollar fast food category. The girlfriend has never received credit.
Austin smoked brisket. Texas barbecue is not barbecue sauce. It is salt, pepper, post-oak smoke, and thyme. Franklin Barbecue in Austin charges no more than any other barbecue restaurant and has a line that starts forming at 6 a.m. for an 11 a.m. opening. People wait 4 hours. Anthony Bourdain called it the best barbecue in the world and flew to Austin specifically to say so. The black bark on the exterior is not burnt. It is the smoke ring and rendered fat that formed over 12 to 18 hours of cooking. Cutting into a properly smoked brisket and seeing the pink center is the entire point of Texas.
New Orleans shrimp poboy. The poboy was invented in 1929 by Clovis and Benjamin Martin, New Orleans restaurant owners who fed striking streetcar workers for free during a labor dispute. When a striker walked in, workers reportedly said, "Here comes another poor boy," and the name stuck. The bread is French bread baked specifically for New Orleans humidity, producing a crisp exterior and a cotton-soft interior that no other bread replicates. The shrimp version packs fried Gulf shrimp into the full length of the loaf with lettuce, tomato, pickles, and remoulade. Dressed means everything on it. Undressed means you made a mistake.
Miami Cubano sandwich. The Cuban sandwich was not invented in Cuba. It was invented in the cigar factories of Tampa and Key West in the 1880s by Cuban workers who needed a filling portable lunch. Miami adopted it, pressed it flatter, and made it famous globally. The construction is specific: Cuban bread, roasted pork, ham, Swiss cheese, yellow mustard, and pickles. No mayo, no lettuce, no tomato. The sandwich is pressed in a plancha until the bread is crisp and the cheese is completely melted into the meat. Tampa adds salami. Miami considers this an error. The argument is ongoing and will not be resolved.
Boston clam chowder in bread bowl.
New England clam chowder has been a Boston staple since the 1700s, when fishermen simmered their daily catch with salt pork, onions, and cream in large communal pots. The bread bowl format, sourdough hollowed out and filled with chowder, was popularized at Fisherman's Wharf in San Francisco before Boston adopted it as their own. In 1939, a Maine legislator introduced a bill making it illegal to add tomatoes to clam chowder anywhere in Maine. The bill failed. The sentiment never left. Manhattan's tomato-based version still causes visible discomfort in New England whenever the subject comes up.
San Francisco Mission Burrito. The Mission Burrito was invented in San Francisco's Mission District in 1961 at El Fado Restaurant. The owner began wrapping rice, beans, meat, and salsa in large flour tortillas to create a portable, filling meal for the neighborhood's working-class Latino community. The format was practical: one item, one hand, complete meal. It became the standard burrito format across America. Chipotle built a $50 billion company around a variation of this exact construction. The original El Fado closed. The burrito it invented is now assembled approximately 3 million times daily across the United States. San Francisco's Mission District invented the American lunch break. Buffalo. Buffalo wings were created in 1964 from a delivery mistake. The Anchor Bar in Buffalo, New York, received chicken wings instead of the parts they ordered. Instead of sending them back, Teresa Bellissimo fried them and covered them in hot sauce and butter. She had no plan. Americans now eat 1.4 billion buffalo wings on Super Bowl Sunday alone. One delivery mistake created an entire food category worth billions of dollars annually.
Los Angeles French dip sandwich. The French dip was invented in Los Angeles in 1908, and two restaurants claim credit simultaneously. Philippe's says the owner accidentally dropped a French roll into roasting pan drippings and served it anyway. Kohl's says essentially the same story about the same year. Both restaurants still exist, both still serve the sandwich, and both still claim the original. The sandwich itself is simple: thinly sliced roast beef on a French roll served with a small cup of beef jus for dipping. The dipping is not optional, it is the entire sensory experience. One accidentally dropped sandwich created a century-long argument and one of LA's most enduring food institutions.
Seattle hot dog. The Seattle hot dog was invented in the 1990s by street cart vendors outside the city's nightlife venues as a post-bar food option. The defining feature is cream cheese spread directly inside the bun before the sausage goes in. Nobody outside Seattle does this. Nobody inside Seattle questions it. The cream cheese melts slightly against the hot sausage and creates a richness that ketchup and mustard cannot approach. The addition of grilled onions, sauerkraut, and jalapenos built around the cream cheese base made it the defining late-night food of the Pacific Northwest. A street cart improvisation became a regional identity so specific that Seattleites are genuinely offended when other cities have not heard of it.
Kansas City burnt ends. Burnt ends were not originally a menu item. They were the scraps, the irregular, heavily smoked end pieces of a brisket that pitmasters trimmed off before slicing and gave away to waiting customers as free samples. Arthur Bryant's Barbecue in Kansas City made them famous in the 1970s when food writer Calvin Trillin called the restaurant the single best restaurant in the world. Customers started requesting the burnt ends specifically. What had been giveaway scraps became the most sought-after cut in Kansas City barbecue. They are now cubed, returned to the smoker, and glazed until they caramelize into what regulars call meat candy. The best things on the menu are always the pieces nobody wanted first. Detroit-style pizza. Detroit-style pizza was invented in 1946 at Buddy's Rendezvous, a bar in Detroit, using blue steel industrial pans from local auto factories as baking trays. The square format and 2-inch depth were accidents of available equipment, not culinary intention. The cheese, Wisconsin brick cheese, goes all the way to the edges and caramelizes against the hot pan, creating a crispy fried cheese crust on all 4 sides. The sauce goes on top of the cheese, not beneath it. Pizza Hut launched their own Detroit style in 2020. The line at Buddy's got longer. Detroit noticed. Lemon pepper. Lemon pepper dry rub wings became the defining food of Atlanta, Georgia. The city's hip-hop culture adopted lemon pepper wings as a cultural staple in the 2000s, and multiple Atlanta rappers referenced them in songs. The dry rub format, no sauce, just seasoning pressed directly into the skin, creates a crunch that wet wings cannot replicate. Atlanta wing shops started offering lemon pepper wet, which adds butter to the dry rub after frying.
The rest of America is still debating whether this is genius or an act of culinary chaos.
Oklahoma Onion Smashburger. The Oklahoma onion burger was invented during the Great Depression when beef was expensive and onions were cheap. Cooks at roadside stands in Oklahoma pressed thinly sliced onions directly into the raw beef patty before smashing it onto the griddle. The onions caramelized into the meat as it cooked, becoming inseparable from the crust. The technique stretched the beef further while adding sweetness and depth that plain beef could not produce alone. Depression-era resourcefulness created one of the most distinctive regional burgers in America. Served on a pretzel bun, the saltiness of the bun amplifies the sweetness of the caramelized onion in a way a standard bun cannot.